Today we have some important PlayStation news to discuss, with a rumored virtual reality Horizon spin-off, and we are discussing Silent Hill creator Keiichiro Toyama's new horror game, the Xbox Series X boosting frame rates for backward-compatible games and more games to come, and the new headset revealed by Xbox. So before jumping into the topics, if you are new, subscribe to the channel, click the notification icon for instant updates, and follow me on Twitter for knowing more interesting and informative topics in the daily gaming world. Now let's jump in.
Let's not shoot each other, alright?
As it stands, Sony currently has a number of major developers working under its banner, including the likes of Naughty Dog, Insomniac, Guerrilla Games, Sucker Punch, and Sony Santa Monica. However, the major console manufacturer also makes significant deals with third-party names to bring more yearly exclusives to the screen, publishing the work of studios like Bluepoint Games, Sumo Digital, and Housemarque despite not officially owning them. Thanks to a new quarterly securities report, players now know just how much Sony spent on third-party partnerships and publishing agreements during the last year. The figure, which spans from the beginning of the current fiscal year, April 2020, until December 31, 2020, apparently came to a total of $329 million. According to the report, the money has been committed to establishing several long-term contracts ranging up to 7 years, with the parties involved expected to use the funding for development, distribution, and publishing. Essentially, it means that a lot of the games this large sum of money has been invested into are still in development or planned for the future, indicating Sony has a lot in store for PlayStation 5 buyers. They'll eventually be released under the PlayStation Studios publishing banner, similar to recent exclusives like Sackboy: A Big Adventure, Demon's Souls, and Returnal. There's no indicator as to what these experiences might be, but it seems players can expect some more exclusive PlayStation Studios titles from outside the company's regular stable of names. Seeing as Demon's Souls was a big draw for the company during the release of the PlayStation 5, and Sackboy: A Big Adventure managed to draw critical praise too, it seems the company's tactic of bringing in some third-party help has been successful so far. Returnal will drop in April, and looks to be the next big third-party blockbuster published by PlayStation Studios, with the sci-fi roguelike seeing players battle alien monsters using an array of futuristic weapons while contending with a repeating time loop. As for first-party titles, Sony already looks to be kicking off a strong year, launching Ratchet & Clank: Rift Apart in June. It will follow Insomniac's newest take on its iconic license with Guerrilla Games' highly anticipated sequel to HorizonZeroDawn, with Horizon Forbidden West seemingly scheduled for the second half of 2020. On top of that will be God of War: Ragnarok, the follow-up to the widely revered reboot of the God of War franchise that debuted back in 2018. It definitely looks as though 2021 will be a stacked year for Sony and its player base.
Everybody get out! Don't worry, I got you!
Thank you.
Man! Those people! They're trapped!
Up next we have Horizon game news as Firesprite, the studio behind PlayStation VR's surprisingly enjoyable survival horror roguelite The Persistence, is recruiting a string of new staff for a VR action-adventure project adapted from one of the most original and successful multi-million-selling console IP titles in the last 10 years. Previous job listings have referred to a multi-million-selling action RPG, and specifically referenced PSVR. The advertisement for the lead producer position elaborates, "This is an exceptionally exciting project, partnering with the IP holder to create a whole new chapter in the exciting and highly original universe they have established, utilizing the full immersive capabilities in VR to build a new narrative for fans and newcomers alike." While there are no further details in the description, the wording is fascinating because it was rumored over a year ago that Sony was exploring the possibility of a Horizon Zero Dawn spin-off built within virtual reality. At the time, Blood and Truth developer London Studio was believed to be leading the project, but given its relatively small size it wouldn't be unusual for it to recruit external support. However, it's worth noting that, as pointed out on the Reset-era forums, London Studio has since removed any references to PSVR from its website, suggesting its direction may have changed over the past year. Whatever the case, the Firesprite job listings are vague enough that they could be attributed to a dozen other franchises. And, while the platform holder has hinted that there'll be a future for virtual reality on the PlayStation 5, it's yet to outline exactly what it has planned beyond ongoing backwards compatibility support for its existing PSVR headset. Still, there's no question that some kind of HorizonZeroDawn game designed to take advantage of new, updated hardware would prove a huge splash should the manufacturer really decide to move in that direction.
No barrier I won't cross. This mission is mine alone. If I falter, if I fail, there won't be anyone left to stop what's coming.
Now jumping into the next topic, we have the Silent Hill and Gravity Rush creator Keiichiro Toyama's new horror game as he discusses his studio's upcoming first game. BCGames Studio has just put out a video with creative director Keiichiro Toyama, creator of Silent Hill, Gravity Rush, and Siren, in which he talks about the studio's upcoming first horror title, and his own approach to game design, horror, and the world at large. Toyama made waves at the end of last year when he announced his departure from Sony Interactive Entertainment, along with several of his colleagues, after more than 20 years on the job. They formed BCGames Studio, seemingly regaining a sense of artistic freedom and creative flexibility that they hadn't had under Sony. Silent Hill fans are unlikely to see a new official game from its original creator since Konami holds the rights, but Toyama and his team have made clear that they intend to return to horror as a genre. In the video, Toyama reminisces about his start in the games industry before moving on to the circumstances around the founding of BCGames Studio. He felt that as the industry had become larger and the audiences broader, many companies including Sony, for whom he worked at the time, were feeling a pressure to appeal to the widest possible audience for financial and engagement-related reasons. To that end, he started BCGames Studio with a few other ex-Sony developers, so that they might focus creating the types of games that they wanted to, and let those games choose their audience in a way. He then moved on to discussing the studio's upcoming first game, a horror title that Toyama announced last December. Elaborating on his previous claims that the game would be an horror-oriented action-adventure game, he says in the video that the direction I took is quite dark, far from my more recent titles. It's like I'm coming back to my roots. He also expresses an interest in the various death game concepts that have cropped up in comics and manga of late, asserting a fascination with the idea of these regular people driven into irrational situations, and the emotional and mental toll that would have on them. Silent Hill fans will no doubt be thrilled to hear about Toyama's return to the realm of horror, although Toyama goes on to say that he wants to keep an entertainment note rather than just showing scary things on screen. It should question our position, make us challenge the fact that we're living peacefully. With that said, it's hard to deny that much of the concept art scattered throughout the video features the kind of creepiness and body horror that Silent Hill devotees have come to expect. Those eager to return to those spooky fog-filled streets may be in luck on another front too, considering the intriguing rumors that not one but two Silent Hill games may be in development. Between that information and the promising noises emanating from Toyama and BCGames Studio, one way or another horror fans are going to be in for a treat soon. And finally, we have the Xbox news. Before jumping into the backward compatibility discussion, I want to talk about another release. You all know newly released Xbox next-gen headset. But there is a twist in that. Video game peripherals, while not always central to the experience, can certainly help key moments feel more impactful. While there were a number of improvements with the PS5 and Xbox Series X controllers when they launched, gaming headsets have been steadily improving for years. The PS5 Pulse headset has been a great complement for the console, but Microsoft only revealed its Xbox Series X headset today. Or so some thought. Over on Twitter, fans have been pointing out that Microsoft cheekily revealed the Xbox Series X headset in the Power Your Dreams trailer released last year. The trailer featured Get Out actor Daniel Kaluuya gaming on the system, all while using the Xbox Series X headset. This seemingly went unnoticed by many fans, who might have assumed it was the Xbox One headset working on the Series X. Funnily enough, this isn't even the first time Microsoft has pulled a stunt like this. Last year, Xbox head Phil Spencer included an Xbox Series S in the background of a video call, revealing the design weeks before it was officially shown in a trailer. It's an admittedly clever form of marketing, as now that there have been 2 instances of it happening, fans may begin to pay more attention to the material that Xbox releases. With the Xbox Series X only just released, there's a good chance that there will be more teases for the hardware in the future. Mid-generation refreshes have become the new normal, so it's possible that an updated version of the Xbox Series X could appear in some sort of live stream or advertisement before it's officially revealed, just in a subtle place on the screen. All that aside, one can hope that the Xbox Series X wireless headset delivers on audio fidelity, as fans are likely going to draw comparisons to the PS5 Pulse headset. While more are being released, there's still not that much support for headsets on the Xbox Series X or PS5, at least not headsets that are specifically built for the systems. Audio can have a huge impact on a gameplay experience, even beyond competitive multiplayer, so it's an important thing for console manufacturers to get right. Luckily, the Xbox Series X wireless headset launches next month, so fans don't have to wait long until they can get their hands on a set. Hopefully, it will make long gaming sessions all the more immersive, without the inconvenience of wires to boot. The Xbox Series X wireless headset launches March 16th. Now coming into our main final discussion, as Xbox Series X boosting frame rates for backward-compatible games and more Xbox backward-compatible games getting Series X FPS boost in coming months. Ever since its implementation during the early years of the Xbox One, Microsoft has made a major effort to turn its backward compatibility features into the definitive way to play older Xbox titles. Today, the company has strived to build upon that sentiment, announcing that a host of games will benefit from enhanced frame rates when played on the Xbox Series X and S. Announced via Xbox Wire, the company has designed a new feature known as FPS Boost, which will be accessible through select games when they're played on the next-generation consoles. The feature can be toggled on and off based on the player's desired frame rate and, while still a work in progress for a number of backward-compatible titles, is currently available to try out via 5 popular Xbox One games. The titles in question are Watch Dogs 2, Far Cry 4, Super Lucky's Tale, UFC 4, and Sniper Elite 4, with the games all benefiting from enhanced frame rates starting today. According to Microsoft, the titles were picked as shining examples of the potential the new feature holds, claiming they highlight several different ways that FPS Boost can improve your experience. Super Lucky's Tale, for example, can now run at up to 120 frames per second, while UFC 4 can manage 60 frames per second, even on the Xbox Series S. Going forward, these kinds of frame rates on previous generation games will be much more common, with Microsoft looking to add FPS Boost to a wide variety of popular releases. It will also be implementing settings to manage and customize the frame rates of these games, with Microsoft promising an Xbox Series X Spring System update will implement compatibility options so players can alter the FPS Boost feature. It will mean users can turn it on or off, as well as adjusting Auto HDR. As of right now, players can test out the feature if they own Game Pass, with Super Lucky's Tale and Sniper Elite 4 both coming included with the service. Going forward, Microsoft claims more Game Pass games will benefit from FPS Boost. Now, according to Xbox's Director of Project Management, Jason Ronald, in a recent interview done by YouTuber Colt Eastwood, games that possess this feature will be released periodically every few weeks over the course of several months, until every game with this frame rate feature is released. Ronald did not reveal any other backward-compatible games that feature the Xbox Series X frame rate boost, but it will certainly be interesting to see what kinds of games receive that kind of treatment. With the wealth of games present on Xbox Game Pass, it's safe to assume that the majority of them would greatly benefit from this frame rate boost. The Xbox 360 possesses an extensive library of games that are backward compatible with the Xbox Series X. This gives younger users a chance to experience games from the previous console generations at a similar frame rate to newly released AAA games. In any case, it will be interesting to see which games are confirmed to have this frame rate jump. Gears of War is a long-standing Xbox franchise that many in the gaming community still love. Certainly, players would find it refreshing to see such a beloved game series that was first released in the mid-2000s running at the same FPS as a game that was released only a couple of years ago. If what Ronald says is true, then users can expect the next round of frame rate boosted games to release sometime in the next couple of weeks. The company also announced new games would be debuting on Game Pass, with Dirt 5, Elite Dangerous, and Wreckfest all launching on the service later this month. This would be best time for Xbox fans to try out smooth 120 frames per second cap of older games and immersive gameplay with high quality. And that's all for the video, guys. Please like and share the video if you like the information, and comment your thoughts and subscribe to the channel. And until then, from SMPV, it's goodbye.